Hello and welcome everybody to Advantage One Auto and RV. My name's Josh the RV Nerd, and this is a 7,360-pound Connect 303 rear living room. It's a triple slide, and it's what I'm going to call like a flat deck fifth wheel, but it's a little more of a compact flat deck fifth wheel than those giant big triple slide bed slide jobs that you've seen us do in the past. This is something, it's kind of the same floor plan as a 27-foot Eagle HT, well 27.5 RLTS, it's definitely not 27 foot total, sorry. A 27 SGS Cougar, and plenty of other examples out there. But a lot of those, like a lot of vehicles have the tow capacity to handle those fifth wheels, but they lack the payload rating. That's where this one can come in right here. If you're like, look, I'm not getting a new vehicle, and I just can't comfortably tow a fifth wheel, this one could be your get out of jail free card where really you don't have to make any concessions, and since it's late model and used, you're getting it for less money and you're still potentially able to get same as new financing on one of these. That's a double win right there. Now tell you from what I'm seeing inside here, if we were not at Advantage One, where we sell things exclusively used on consignment on behalf of their owners right now, I think you could park this at a new KZ dealer's lot, and I don't know that you could tell the difference. This looks absolutely factory fresh in here. Maybe better in some ways, because factory fresh, usually there's little sawdust or particulate laying around, and I don't see none of that here. We're gonna come back to this island, but I gotta make a quick note. I love the way this kitchen is laid out. I prefer it with no sink in the island. It's better prep space. It's more storage. Like I said, we'll come back to that in just a minute. That is a 12-volt DC compressor fridge, by the way. And, you know, I keep talking about the kitchen. Let me just spin you around like a record, baby. Give you a look at everything. We've got awesome seating everywhere. Windows all over the place in this one. And they've all got privacy shades to kind of, you know, block all that off right there. You see how the owners have everything strapped down for transit the way you're supposed to. They have the TV strapped down as well until I got here and started playing with it. They did all of the things that you're really supposed to do in a camper like this. That skylight up there is also a nice way of bringing in some extra light into the RV. Really helps open things up, looks and feels a bit bigger. So the kitchen countertops here, as long as we're going to start with the kitchen since I can't seem to shut up about it. These are all sealed edge press membrane counters, and notice there's plenty of outlets, and they're easy to reach because I swear appliances keep getting shorter and shorter power cords. Is it me? Now again, this is what I was talking about right here. Opening that up, you see how it's just storage galorage through the entirety of that island right there, instead of a sink buried into the island that can really limit a lot of our functional storage space. You don't have a traditional pantry in the slide out, but you see next to the TV, you actually have one there. And it's actually a handy spot for it because it will remain travel accessible, basically. Working our way around here, I can't see where the oven and the microwave look like they ever got a whole heck of a lot of use. I do like that extra dedicated storage right there below the oven, though. That's a nice little touch. Back to the living room now that I've got my kitchen itch scratched. That's a trifold sleeper sofa over here next to that big picture window. And notice how even the, what I call toothpick windows, the tall, thin windows on either side of those recliners, those also open for airflow. You can get some great breezes going through here. Those recliners are free floating, so if you want to kind of pivot them around, you can. Or imagine for just a second here, you've got the RV position where there's like a lake or a scenic overlook or something off the back. Well, you could actually turn those chairs and just like have a little TV tray, eat some dinner, overlooking that amazing scenery. Not everything's always necessarily about the entertainment system, but that being said, this one does have a pretty easy viewing entertainment setup. This table has an extension leaf, so it's a couple's rig. But if you do have some family or guests for a weekend, we got the hide-a-bed that we can sleep them. Maybe we have some grown-up friends over, and perhaps we're having a little bit of fun. And maybe we have a little bit of too much fun, and we shouldn't be driving. Well, the hide-a-bed where I'm sitting right now, that might be a very nice way to keep some family and friends safe until the morning, you know? Sometimes just a little bit of responsibility is all it takes. Got our space heating Tootsie Toaster down below, and I like that open pocket right there. Because if you got things like a Blu-ray player, you want to upgrade your entertainment center, very easy. What do you guys think of this? You know, this isn't a brand that we carry down at Halets, but it's got a good look. It's got the right things, I think, in the right places. I like that compressor fridge, keeping things very cold in transit very safely and effectively. We've also got motion lighting here right by the door, as well as by the pass-through compartment when we get inside there. And just as soon as you get close, it kicks on. What I love about that is instead of having a light constantly glaring against that frosty glass window with a big old collection of gnats, where every time you open and close your door at night, you're letting bugs into your camper or you're eating them, you know? Maybe they're high in protein, but it's not my idea of a fun camping snack. Yeah, well, having that light only on when you're walking in and out eliminates a ton of that. Now we've got a dual entry bed and bath here, sliding privacy door up into the bedroom and bathroom area. The stool here is foot flush, and we've got some decent leg room. The skylight above the shower is in an interesting position. Nice larger radius shower to give you some elbow room. I suspect there's probably a roof. Like, I looked at it and I go, why didn't they just move that over? I bet there's a roof rafter right here dead through the middle of the shower, and it's just the way that it worked out on this floor plan. So it still gives you some light there. It may not give you that extra headroom you're looking for. So if you're 6 foot, 6'1" or shorter, you're going to stand in that thing absolutely no sweat. If you're a little bit bigger like me, you might be ducking just a touch, but I don't mind ducking a little bit when I'm going camping. If that's the worst thing I got to do, I'm going to be okay. Taking a look at this here, getting the storage open, you see the bathroom and bedroom closet slide. It kind of passes through, and again, that's one of those fifth wheel floor plan features that I was telling you about, how this is, to me, it rings as a flat deck fifth wheel. A lot of them have that exact same thing. It's a little bit of an asymmetrical bedroom. You've got a larger hanging closet over there. You notice that this one is kind of open air though, but that can be very nice for people who have CPAP needs, or if you're just a little bit claustrophobic and you feel like, man, that's really closing me in here. Now there's still room to walk around the bed, even though this was upgraded to a true queen. A camp queen would have been the original factory mattress on this, and somebody put a true residential queen in there. Now you see this handy little remote control right there? The folks added a very nice Vizio Smart TV directly across from the bedroom here. So this would work well for someone like me and my wife. At the end of the night, we like to turn on the TV in the bedroom for just maybe half an hour, just let our bodies relax, catch up on something, just spend a few minutes together. And one other thing I want to mention, this is 50 amp service. So if you want to, you could sacrifice that vent right there and get a second air conditioner. We can get you quotes on that. Or probably wouldn't be that hard just to upgrade to a big vent fan there if you're interested. Let us know. And this is really why I think this is a good model for getting there and spending some time there. When it's all closed up, there's just not a whole lot of other ways that it really could have been rearranged differently. You do have very limited travel access here. You know, you can get to the bathroom and the bedroom and maybe a little bit of the dry storage over here. But this is going to be a really good camper where you should look into one of those 110 and 12 volt combo kind of freezer chest jobs. I'll leave you a link for one in the video description that I actually personally own and use literally every single day. It gives you a way to keep some cold storage available within the vehicle and kind of overcome a little challenge like this, although you can get to that refrigerator there. And a quick note, you do need to turn those chairs in the back to close the slide. And notice how that the owners actually strapped everything down the way that you're supposed to. When people take the extra time and effort like that, that's one of those little indicators that I look for. And I hope you appreciate the way that we take the extra little time and effort to close things up like this and show you around. And over the past couple years, you know, we've seen a lot of tan skin, champagne skin sidewall campers. A lot of them can feel a little bit one note and bland to me. There's something about the nose cap and just the nice blue accents. There's just enough of a color pop on here that it's, I mean, look at that. It's got, I think, a really eye-catching appeal to it. But what do you guys think? I like the look of that. It feels very understated, but still very like modern and catchy. Like it's an interesting combination of things over here. Under that awning, we do have ourselves an anti-slam entry door, and I'm just eyeballing the door, but it does look wide enough. If you were looking for something like those wide stance stability axle systems, I can't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to upfit that to one of these RVs. But there's a lot of people who prefer these traditional, almost gone now, folding steps, because then you're not flipping, you know, the steps into the RV. Makes it easier to get to at storage facilities as well. I also want to point out, I'm going to mention towing and going on this one. You know, I said that this could make an alternative to a fifth wheel for a lot of people who can't tow a fifth wheel due to limited payload ratings. Well, that EqualFlex trail air suspension right there, that is one of those towing and going shock dampener systems that will help soften the blow as you're trucking around.
We've got ourselves a simple side mount solar prep plug and a big, generous sized pass-through. Look at this thing. I mean, you are not hurting for space in here. That, you know, I could spend a night in there if I ever got in trouble. That is motion lighting. I think I pointed some out on the inside of the RV by the door. If I failed to do so, I apologize. In case you're wondering what these little guys are here, as we wrap our way around the front of the camper, you actually see the tongue-mounted jacket bike rack system. Those little rubber posty jobs, technical term, by the way, that we saw in the pass-through compartment, that's goes on those basically to help keep your bikes in place if you feel like putting a bike up front there. There's a little, let me get up here, almost at a glance looks like some kind of Black & Decker type thing. This is a toy lock system. Basically it's got a cable that you can pull out of that spool right there, so that when you're not using your bikes, you can make sure they don't go for joy rides. I have talked to a couple people with seasonal sites over the years who say, you know, my bikes are never missing, but if I don't lock them down before I leave, they're also rarely in the same place where I left them. Like somebody decided to take my nice bicycle for a ride, and then at least they were kind enough to bring it back. A couple nice little touches here too. The magnet catches and the slam, well, not slam light, just magnet catches, pardon me. Those two things go together so often it's hard for me to not say one without the other. But a sealed hinge on this to keep the weather out of that thing. Very handy here in the Midwest, where, you know, it can freeze and thaw, sometimes multiple times in the same day. Protecting a hinge like that will help keep it from getting sprung. Little preventative maintenance items, like over here next to the sewer hookup station, we've got our black tank flush, power hookup, and the little bug cover for the furnace exhaust right there, making sure that you don't end up with a flame out or just, you know, the furnace can't fire up because it can't breathe properly. Now, this is not what people are going to call a Four Seasons camper, but it is an enclosed heated belly. It will get you through some pretty solid extended season use. Another thing I look for is a lot of times I'll start walking right down the sidewall of a camper, and I start checking the reflectivity on the fiberglass, and you can see how this one's still got a lot of gloss left on that glass. That is a good sign that this was kept cleaned, maintained. It wasn't just left to rot in the weather, you know, it wasn't just left to bake in the sun. Really, I've got nothing but positive vibes from the previous owners on this one. Little outside utility shower over here by that little, you know, fold-down cargo rack. Now, bumpers on campers have about a 200-pound capacity. That will be before the spare tire is applied there. And maybe somebody can help me with this. I'm not exactly sure why this was done. It looks almost like a welcome mat that they cut some strips out of, this big thick rubber matting, and then they bolted it to the bumper. I don't know why that's there. Now, I didn't have a chance to speak to the previous owners, but is this one of these camping hacks that, like, I've never seen before, that it's a handy little thing? Somebody give me an idea why that's there. I would appreciate it. Sometimes you'd be surprised what we learn from one another. She's backup camera ready and standing on the rear cargo rack there, giving you a look at what's on top of the roof. Seals, membrane, look good. I also noticed up front over the bathroom and the bedroom, you see that there's a couple like Max Air type vent covers up there, giving you some good anytime airflow. Although with the wind coming at me today, I'm getting plenty of right now airflow. So like I said, whether, you know, you could tow it if you're looking for a tower and goer, this could absolutely work. But it's big enough, there's enough living space, and I think enough storage here. I think this could also make a very good case for a seasonal type campsite. Holy windy. Every time I open my mouth, woo! You almost got blinded by the light off my shiny forehead over here. We're getting blown away. I think I saw a house squish a witch over there, actually. But you get the point. It can tow, it can park. You could do a little bit of both. Maybe you're going to do some you know, Arizona snowbird camping or something like that. You're from around here in the Midwest. This RV could fit a lot of different people. I like what I see. It looks good. I don't see it was ever abused. I think it's all good news out of this one right here. So when you're ready, we're ready. If you appreciate the way that we look through these and try to give you that extra bits of information, hit the subscribe button, like our video, and leave us some comments to tell us what we're doing right and what else we could be doing for you, or any questions you might have on the camper, any thoughts you might have that way. Short of that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and have an A1 day, everyone.